Hello and welcome to another episode of the Never a Straight Answer podcast, the podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm your host Gaz, and joining me in the studio, well, he moonlights by twilight, but his rates are alright, is my co-host Mr. Taylor.
Yeah, good evening ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, thank you very much and welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us for another week. And another mind-bending episode. So, whether you're a new listener or a repeat offender, thank you for coming along. And welcome to a show being presented from our new NASA HQ.
Oh, yes. Yeah. We moved again.
We're always moving about.
Yeah, we don't like to stay in the same place.
We'll go into that in a bit. Well, it's not that we don't like staying in the same place.
Well,
it's just that we keep getting moved on.
Yeah.
We're like, come on, boys. Stop loitering around.
Yeah.
Come on. We've had enough.
Kick up the ass.
So you make too much noise. Get out. Stop launching rockets from the back garden. Right. Well, on this week's show, with mass sightings of celestial phenomenon being reported, of UFOs being shot down over parts of the United States and Canada, we wanted to find out and investigate a little bit more and find out what the dickens is going on.
Yeah, what is the suspects?
Well, could these objects be visitors from another planet, or the more likely occurrence of high-tech surveillance equipment rather from China or Russia, or maybe somewhere else? We don't know.
Well, we don't. We're getting to that.
Well, we're gonna be looking into it and exploring a few of the possibilities. Let's say, that's coming up
a few
very shortly in the show. Plus this week's news and random events,
as always.
Well worth sticking around for. Should imagine.
Yeah. Oh,
well, before we get into all that, I had a bit of a question for you, Mr. Taylor.
All right, okay.
Well, where's my questions? Ah, there it is. Right. So, space question this week.
Okay.
You know there's no atmosphere in space.
Yeah.
So, if you blew a bubble in space, would it pop?
You mean on its own?
Yeah.
I will say yes.
You think it would pop?
Yeah.
Do you think it will? Actually,
eventually, we'd have to pop by something touching it.
Well, funny actually, because if you do send a weather balloon up into space, generally it gets to a certain height where it does pop.
That's true.
Because that's how they retrieve the GPS trackers and all the rest of it, any GoPros and data that they've sent up. So I would imagine it would pop.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to tell us any different, you know what to do. Send us a message.
If you actually want to argue the case on it.
I just love giving you random questions. What's been going on this week? It's been 2 weeks since we recorded last.
It has. Yes, it has.
So you must have been up to something.
Little projects here and there, and doing some work, and
got to keep them pennies coming in.
That's it.
This is it, isn't it? It's trying to find the time to do everything and try and keep up the level of performance you're used to. And we want to deliver a podcast every week, but sometimes we just can't, and we get things going on, and it's beyond our control. So we do apologise that if you missed us last week. But we are back in full effect.
We do, and it reminds me of in the old days when the old folk used to turn around and go, "There's not enough time in the day," and it is so true.
It is true.
It's so true.
There isn't generally enough time in the day.
Mainly, a lot of the time it's been wasted, but it is so true.
Well, that is true. Well, I've as you would have guessed, with us being a new HQ, it means I've moved.
Yes, you have.
I don't know if anyone's had this before, or knows what it's about, right? But if you've ever had a Section 21, which is a no-fault eviction, so basically if your landlord's selling the house or they just want to regain their property back for whatever reason, and for no reason beyond your control, and they need you to leave.
It's been in Parliament for quite a while, and it should have been come through to stop it.
Because you just can kind of go, right, you need to go now, and it's like, what? And now you've just kind of got to find somewhere. Well, we found it. We found somewhere anyway, so it's all good.
We did. We found a dungeon somewhere.
We got a basement. Yeah, no, a bunker.
We got a bunker.
We got the bunker. The bunker in the White House.
Yeah.
So
it was a bit free. They weren't doing anything. They're not going to be using it for a while.
It used to be a war room, but I don't know what it is now. We're just kipping.
It's quite nice. I like the decoration.
With fucking Confederate flags everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway. But yeah, it's been all go. Let's say for the last couple of weeks. So we're back now. Anyway, and we will be delivering episodes as usual.
We will.
Well, with the idea of this week's, I mean, this is a bit late because obviously, we wanted to do this last week.
It is, but a bit late, more information.
Better late than never. But yeah, it meant that we could gather a bit more information in regards to the UFOs that were shot down.
Yeah.
And maybe get a better insight into what they might be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that is an interesting one. So we're going to go into it now. So, if you don't know what happened, the first kind of incident came in, didn't it?
Yeah, February 10th, I believe it was.
Yeah, so it's around February the 10th, and it was a report of an unidentified flying object being shot down over the United States.
Yeah, South California.
South California, and straight away, they suspected it was a weather balloon. It was kind of more of a stationary object. It wasn't really flying at speeds. It wasn't being, maneuvering in a way
doing anything weird.
That they felt like this was out of the ordinary or out of this world.
Yeah.
So they shot it down, and
that's right.
Now, do you think that they felt like it could have been some sort of surveillance equipment from the offset, or do you think that they were like, could they looking at that equipment go, yeah, fair enough, they were telling the truth, it is actually weather equipment?
Well, I believe they spotted it about 2 weeks earlier, but they didn't think it was anything
to worry about.
Really. Yeah.
Right? Okay, so what made them get so concerned that they felt they needed to shoot it down?
Well, it must have been they've been tweaking now. I've just found out the DOD defense.
Tweaking?
They've been tweaking the radars so they can find smaller objects in the sky.
Right, okay.
So now they can spot like these kind of things instead of they may have done it like time and time again and it hasn't been spotted. And obviously, American scientists, Canadian, American, English, all the scientists kind of do experimentations like that anyway. So they must have been some kind of like energy or something to tell that it was some kind of spy device instead of the normal, the pro cameras or little bit of data machines.
Yeah, so the first one that was over Alaska, wasn't it?
No, that was the second one.
No, I think we've got like the Friday the 10th of January, the first UFO was shot down over Alaska. On the Saturday, there was actually 3 shot down, which was the second one on the February the 11th, which was over Canada.
Yeah.
Then the rest were pretty much, on the Sunday the 12th of February, there was one shot basically on the border of the United States and Canada in the mountains.
Yeah, in Montana, the FAA actually shut down the whole airspace.
Well, so, okay then, right. So, the original Chinese spy balloon was actually shot down on the 11th, which was over the United States, which was around the West Coast.
South.
Or the East Coast, sorry.
South California.
Yeah, isn't California, which side of the...
Isn't it?
Yeah, you're going my right, your left, so like stage left or whatever, but like it's like the opposite side, so do you know where more towards... California's like the nicer side, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, no, not the nicer side. I mean, more sunny. Like, you get more kind of nicer weather. I think New York's on the opposite side of the country, isn't it?
Yeah,
so
it's on the west side.
Right, yeah, so they're on the east, right, the east coast, right? So, it shot down on the east coast, and they've identified that one as the Chinese spy balloon, right? Yeah, so the first one on the Friday... Basically, the report I read basically says that it was just a UFO and they've got no information about it.
Yeah.
Then on the Saturday, the 11th of February, they shot down over Florida or California, that way, a a Chinese spy balloon that they identified. So that must have been the one that'd been tracking.
Yeah.
So do you think it would have been a case of that they'd been tracking it, they'd seen it on radar for a couple of weeks, like you say, but because it was kind of like not doing anything, they left it. But then after the one that was shot down on the 10th, on the Friday,
they
thought, more. Do you know what? We've been looking at this for a couple of weeks. I think we should shoot it down as well. Yeah, or they might have got an order to shoot anything like that down after the 10th.
Yeah.
So
they'd have to have some kind of indication that it's not a normal balloon. There was 3 shot down
on one day. So one on the border, actually there was 2 shot down on the Saturday. One was a radar anomaly, which was detected on the border of China and Canada and the United States.
Yeah.
Right. So there was only 3 or 4 shot down. So yeah, there was 4 shot down and 1 radar anomaly.
Yeah.
Right. So whether that radar anomaly was in fact one of the ones that they shot down, but from an earlier time in the day,
or an actual UFO,
UFO. So,
but they do have anomalies. Now, birds can do it for it.
The interesting thing about this is that they say the weather balloon was a weather balloon. Yeah, right. But the others, they have basically said that they're not weather balloons; they are UFOs, and they can't identify them.
Yeah, and then shot them down, and then stated that they can't. The landing places where they landed were places that were hard to get to, and then a few days later they stated that we're not bothering to go and collect
as well. February the 4th, a Chinese balloon was shot down over South Carolina coast as well. Yeah. And then on the 9th, the first UFO was detected off the coast of Alaska. By the 10th, a UFO was shot down over Dead Horse, Alaska. The 11th, there was the second UFO that was shot down over Mayo in the Yukon, Canada.
Yeah.
Then on the 12th, the third UFO was shot down over the Great Lakes. So, so you've got like kind of, you've got a kind of a timeline there from where they were first seen. So that was over Montana. Yeah, this first Chinese weather balloon. So like you say, from the 1st to the 10th, they were monitoring that Chinese weather balloon, right? And it got pretty much right over the country.
Yeah,
just actually getting over the country to the point where it was getting towards the sea again.
Yeah.
So whatever data they'd gathered, they were getting. So it was rather shoot it down now or let them get away with whatever data they've got. Yeah. So I agree with that. But what do you think these other unidentified flying objects are? Because Biden says that they weren't. There's no evidence that these 3 shot down UFOs were Chinese.
Yeah, and they weren't a threat. There was a suggestion that like university or scientists, put balloons up there, but still no one's come forward as far as I'm aware of that. Biden actually just signed an act, so the government will look into EMP explosions to see what would happen, or if they can help themselves from being, attacked from an EMP pulse, which I've said on the show before about. There was a suggestion by the Russians were going to fire a nuke 20 miles above America, and the EMP pulse would have actually broke America down. But because we actually looked at this, didn't we? There was a plot or a sort of a strategy to detonate EMP nukes over a city, which could essentially knock out communications. Because it's in the upper atmosphere, it's 1,000 times more strength in it, so it would have done a lot more damage. And the American government were already in a process of testing that anyway. In like 1958, there was a project to do that. but then they've stopped it. And then I remember in the 90s...
Did they stop it, though? Because they always say they stop these things. It just means they've got a development and then had to take it underground.
Yeah,
mainly.
I think they didn't have the abilities or the money to actually carry on
Yeah, again, with
it.
these projects as well, if you kind of stopped by technology, all you need to do is shelve it until that technology you catch up with it, and then you can kind of like start bringing it out. Or
a lot of science.
You kind of develop R&D to kind of, to battle those problems. It's like you were saying about war and how war in a necessity in itself because it creates new technology.
Yeah.
If you're trying to, create a new weapon and you stumble at like a certain technological, barrier, then again, it's just a case of rather doing a shit ton of R&D and trying to solve that problem, or you shelve the project until you can, like I say, catch up with that technology.
Gets us working, gets our minds working, gets us growing.
Well, Biden says there's no evidence that any of these UFOs were Chinese. But a couple of weeks ago, he had an interview where he made no apologies for shooting the Chinese spy balloon down, and admits that the other mysterious aerial objects that were destroyed by warplanes were not surveillance equipment. Now, one of them, the one that landed in a lake, I think it landed on a frozen lake.
Canada one, yeah.
They reported it was as big as a small car, and when it crashed onto the frozen lake, it was destroyed, but they managed to gain some of the wreckage.
Right.
So I think that I do believe that they kind of must have some idea what this is.
I think they do, but then again, I'm starting to believe that it's actually all of the propaganda of, look over here, well, they're actually doing something behind your back.
Well, it's usually that, isn't
it?
Yeah,
usually it is. Because they're making a big fuss out of it, where usually they'll be like, no, you're not allowed to talk about that, quiet. If it is a Chinese
it's one of those
balloon,
things, though, because, exactly, not trying to bring up political stuff, but it's like, President Biden broke silence after a week of, not talking about it. And when he was questioned, he basically said that he was going to speak to the Chinese kind of president.
Oh, you're going to tell him off, are you?
About the first incident, because they know for a fact it was Chinese.
Definitely Chinese, yeah.
But whether he can kind of get them to admit these other objects were. We talk about it's reminds me of we should be we're thinking China, Russia, when it could be Bezos. Or, one of these sort of think tanks. No, it could be anyone. Yeah, but you got Fireball's fucking Penis 5. Yeah. Jeff Bezos flying around in his cock rocket. Yeah. It could be him. It could what I mean? He could be sending up mad shit. Elon Musk could be testing stuff out.
I don't think he's got the grapes for that, though. I think he's more likely to whinge to the government first and go, oh, yeah, please, can I have a warrant?
No, it's like doing, your planning permission retrospectively, where you go, now I'll just do it, and then I'll show him what I can do, because it's easier showing him than asking for permission and trying to explain what you're trying to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so it's like builders will tell you, it's like if you're building something, it's easier to go, I'm going to build it first and then get the guy to come around and have a look at it, because you can show him, and then he can go, yo, this is great, or no, you're going to have to knock it down. But basically by showing them, applying retrospectively, then you are actually kind of in a better position.
Showing the finished product.
Because you can show them exactly how it's built and
what it will look like.
But you try and explain something to these people, then it can get a bit like, I don't understand what you mean, or I'm just trying, I can't get my head around the blueprints or whatever, and it can kind of hinder your project. So
totally.
Bezos is probably, penis rocket flying around the universe.
Cock like his fucking rocket.
Anyway, well, I don't know. It could be. Who knows?
Could be.
It could be a think tank. It could be another country. What the purpose of these are is another question. In terms of the kind of incidents, what would anyone gain from it? Do you think it's a surveillance thing? Do you think we're being spied on? Do you think America's being spied on for war?
Well,
purposes?
To be honest, they don't need fucking satellites or anything like that. They've got phones that they can spy on anyway. Like the Chinese government have got something like 1 million people who go around checking and hacking and doing all sorts of kind of stuff, espionage outside their own country.
Yeah,
Every country's got that.
Well, he originally backed down that the balloon, when they saw the balloon, basically said that they weren't going to shoot it down, the first one, because they felt like, it could cause, civilian casualties if it was to land on anybody. But then after they decided it was under, safe skies, they were able to blow it up over Alaska. It was an Air Force F-22 jet using a $40,000 Sidewinder missile. It's actually quite a new expensive missile that they're using.
Yeah, they're missile. But Sidewinder, to be honest, to hit that balloon, you'd need a couple of rounds done. Shoot it. Few holes, bang, down.
Well, no, because this is the thing. With all these UFOs, no one's ever really been able to keep up maneuverability with them.
Yeah, but so why
have we ever attempted to shoot one of these things down in the past?
Yeah.
And what was the results?
Of a UFO?
Well, with any of it, yeah. I mean, Roswell.
Misses, just as they were about to fire, that all their electronics in the airplane would turn off. So they couldn't, control anything. And then the object would fly off, and then it'd come back. They get their instruments back. They'd try and lock on and fire again, and they get locked out, and then it'd fly off, come back again. There's been quite a number of instances, even from ground to air missiles, stuff like that, to try and lock on. But it's been hard to lock onto these objects. But it's very interesting how over the last couple of years, especially the UFO has gone up with the governments, where they have to admit certain things.
It is interesting,
now.
Isn't it? Considering a couple of months back, even a couple of years back, it was total denial.
They're all shutting them out.
And now we have
they're shooting them down.
We have a report that kind of sort of acknowledges them, and now, like you say, they're just shooting them down left, right, and centre. Yeah. I mean, it does seem a bit kind of far-fetched. It seems like it's kind of staged. Yeah, exactly. I mean, the idea that, if they were to come out and say, look, we shot something down, and this is what we found, and literally laid it out on the table and shown us all, then we'd kind of be a bit more kind of, okay.
Yeah, did what they did in Roswell.
Thank you for the disclosure, but they're not. They kind of feels like another big cover-up. It's like the fact that they shot one Chinese weather balloon down, but they won't tell us what the other three were. That suggests to me the same Roswell fucking thing. It's like we'll just assume that they were all weather balloons. And there's an article here that says, 4 weather balloons were shot down. How do they know when the government and everybody else doesn't? They're just assuming, that there were 4 weather balloons, right?
Yeah.
So
it's like the swamp gas thing.
Exactly, swamp gas and fucking, reflective from Venus and exactly. Fucking weather balloons back at Roswell. And this seems to be the go-to lie, when they want to kind of cover something up, and it's almost a joke. Like you can go, weather balloon, fucking the public will listen.
And not only that,
we'll
blame
just
another
have
country
any
as well.
information that we give them, and we're telling them it's a weather balloon, so that's what they get.
Yeah, and blame another country that we're having little issues with.
Of course, to spur on sort of international fucking pressures and whatnot. Interesting, but I mean,
it's slimy. It is slimy, man. You know what I mean? And it's. I mean, for the one in Alaska, there's not a lot of information really on that one. You've already told quite a bit of the information on the Canada one. We already know about the Chinese one, but then we had the FAA closed down the centre of America because. There was an object there as well.
So actually, the balloon entered Alaskan airspace on the 28th of January. Okay. The Pentagon officials said that it later drifted over Idaho southeast and then over the Carolinas before it was shot down over the South Carolina. The balloon was about the size of 3 buses, and it was flying at an altitude of 60,000 to 65,000 feet.
That's big.
So it's pretty big.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The other reports were saying as big as a small car and being more, sort of machine-like, more like a not a balloon, basically, more like a craft.
Yeah. That's like the Montana one, the one where the FAA shut down. There was a report through the pilot saying that he didn't know how it had the propulsion, and it looked like a 50p piece kind of thing, and it was floating down.
Which
when
one
they
was
shot
this?
The balloon. This was the Montana one. This was.
Right, okay.
And it had he said it looked like it had strings coming, from the bottom of it. But then he was 50 miles away as well. So, I know the pilots are good at spotting stuff and that, but you can have misjudgment from certain, and especially distance, and you're going at a certain speed as well.
On the 10th, the UFO that was shot down over Alaska, a fighter jet brought down the unidentified object over the waters of Alaska. The object broke into pieces, most likely not a balloon. The Defense Department said the White House officially said the object was the size of a small car. So that's the one that was kind of said that. The object was first detected on the evening of February the 9th and was heading towards the North Pole. Yeah,
because he shot it on the 10th, didn't he?
On the 11th, a UFO shot down over Canada.
Yeah.
An American F-22 fighter downed an object over the Yukon territories. It was a cylindrical object and smaller than a spy balloon, and was picked up on the radar on the 10th as it passed over Alaska. And it's unclear what the object was, but Prime Minister Justin Trudeau of Canada said it violated Canadian airspace, so they had no choice.
Oh yeah, but UFOs have been there before.
I know this is the thing. It's we've been letting them go, and it's like, do you know what? We've had enough.
Unless we've got the power now to actually defeat them. If
maybe that's it. Maybe this is it. We're at the dawn of a technological breakthrough where we're able to kind of go, wait a minute, you want to fly over our airspace, we'll just shoot you down. We've always been able to do that to our own, but whether these are extraterrestrials or from another planet with technology far in advance of our own, who knows?
And you know what? I think that kind of thing would benefit humanity so much, because it would bring us much more.
I mean, you've got to give Trudeau a bit of credit as well on this. Like I said last time, last episode, I think this is the kind of most hardcore thing apart from the cannabis regulations in Canada. Tweet from Justin said, "I ordered the takedown of the unidentified object that violated Canadian airspace. NORAD command shot down the object over the Yukon, Canada, and the aircraft was scrambled, and the US F-22 successfully fired at the object."
And if I've got this right, I believe I heard something about he had to ring Biden beforehand.
Did he?
To ask permission. Can I shoot this down?
Can you borrow me a jet? Yeah. Can you just loan me a jet?
Yeah.
He's like, we can't. We've sent them all to Ukraine.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, well, we might have one. Can you not send Air Force One?
Oh no, can't do that.
Well, give me 5 minutes. I'll fly it over.
Yeah, we can get a pea shooter. You know what I mean?
Well,
a soldier with a rifle and a helicopter, bam, done.
So it is the Lake Huron. This was on the 12th of February. The object was first appeared over Montana and shot down the next day over Lake Huron. In Michigan, the object was flying at around 20,000 feet.
Yeah, that's the lowest one out of all of them.
This is the one that had strings hanging off it, but had no description of payload or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these are kind of, they're interesting.
They're all different as well.
They're all different. They're all different descriptions.
Yeah.
Right? One,
see, if you
I mean, are they trying to bamboozle us with sending, or maybe it was one of these sort of like Red Bull fucking soapbox man learns to fly jumping off the end of a pier type of competitions, and some university somewhere has sent all these flying machines out, and we're just shooting them down, because they're all over a similar area as well, if you think about it.
Well, all America.
Pretty much, well, yeah, the whole of America.
You've got one in the middle, one over that side, one over that side, and one over here.
I mean, what sort of weather anomalies are they looking for, and why would they need to know about American weather patterns?
They're always checking about weathers and that. Well, look, 10 countries are using weather machines to try and, stir things up. And, it's just a case of, the difference of them and why hasn't anyone come forward? If it was like a university or a science project or something like that, why haven't they come forward and say? Because it's good promotion for him. Because then, you know, in near enough all around the world, the news will say, "Oh, we know where one of them is and what was it was doing up there," and this and this is the university or the person who's done it.
The Yukon itself is quite a large territory. I mean, trying to find what they shot down must be like a needle in a haystack.
Yeah, but still, they've got the, you know, if you're going to shoot it down, like if you're going to shoot an animal, you're going to eat it. Don't just shoot it for the fun, you know.
Well, no, I mean,
go and get it.
You need to go and get it because you need to determine whether it was kind of innocent enough or if it was actually a threat.
Yeah.
I feel like we live in a bit of a day and age at the moment where you kind of got to take these things seriously, and I don't think they were wrong to shoot them down. I feel like if anybody was planning on running these sorts of weather experiments, I mean, let's look at it's a Back to the Future fucking joke, isn't it? It's like, what you doing there, Doc? Oh, a weather experiment. It's the fucking cover up for all scientists. It's like, oh, have you got a permit? Of course I have. Yeah. It's like, tell them what you're really doing. They shut you down, right? And that seems to be the case. If you've got a legitimate weather experiment that you need to gather data over the states, well, to let the government know. I'm sure that they, you know, if it's legit, they might oblige. Yeah,
but then
doing it underhandedly and not telling anybody.
Well,
then,
not necessarily.
You're going to get shot down. Well, you're losing your equipment and you're not getting any results for your experiment, are you?
Well, yeah, but look, you've got a balloon, and we're looking at letting that balloon.
We've got 3 actually.
Yeah.
We were looking at doing this, but we've had one thing and another coming up. But we want to send something up into space.
Yeah, and so you're saying we should ask the direct permission.
Well, we would
from the government before we let that.
I'm not
go.
sure if we do actually need to ask for permission because if you fly a drone, and you're flying
only in certain areas.
Well, quite a lot of it. Basically, if you fly a drone, you need a drone license nowadays. You can't just go to your park and fly a drone. You need a license, so you know how to do it, where to fly, where not to fly. If you're planning on flying, you need to let the nearest air traffic control know what you're doing, because you could interfere with a plane, you could interfere with like some, anything important, some mad shit going on in the sky you don't know about, right?
Exactly.
Helicopters, planes, whatever, right? But you could interfere with them.
To ask me permission to do that.
Yeah, I know, but because basically, although we're not near an airport, we could be on a flight path, and that could get sucked into an engine of a small, plane or whatever, cause a crash and kill someone, right? So you do need to let them know. Yeah, that I believe that probably is the law. If we were to let a weather balloon off, we'd need to let them know that we were doing it. We get clearance because 99% positive that we wouldn't hit a plane.
All right,
it's like winning the lottery, but I mean, there is a chance that could happen.
All right, then let me say this then. What about Chinese lanterns? What about all these Chinese lanterns?
Chinese lanterns are tiny,
yeah,
and they're not going to impact anything like if it kind of like brushed against a plane. But if you're talking about a massive weather balloon that's
but we were talking
60,
about a massive
we
one.
are talking about a massive one. You asked me about the balloon that we've got that we want to send up. That is not a small balloon. Yeah,
I know it's not small,
huge,
but it's not
right?
massive.
It's fucking massive, right? And you've not seen it blown up. It's massive, right? And it's also going to have equipment attached to it, right? It's not a Chinese lantern. What the fuck are you talking about? A Chinese lantern have no effect on a plane whatsoever. I'd see it, and it probably wouldn't even get to that altitude. Yeah, it'd drift off and land in a pond, right?
You'd hope.
End of story, right? Or
Instead of a farm.
Set fire to some grassland somewhere. I don't know. This is probably why we're having so many forest fucking fires, because people keep sending off fucking tons of Chinese lanterns.
Oh, yeah. Bloody hell.
No offence to the Chinese lanterns. I quite like them. They'd be very pretty. But, you know what I mean? In comparative terms, that is not the same thing, right? If I was
dangerous. Comparative to it, each of them.
No, your original point is: would we need to would anyone sending up a weather balloon need to ask permission? And they would, right? Because a weather balloon's not just a small thing, and if you've got attachments and gimbals and fucking
Well,
sensitivity equipment and weather equipment and all the rest of it attached to it.
Well, if you got one there with a banana on it, you just want to send it up.
They've said this one's as big as 3 double-decker buses.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think that's not going to hit, if it hit a plane or, got in the way of a plane, it wouldn't, cause issues?
Yeah.
There you go, right? And that's what I'm getting at, right? If your Chinese government have decided we're going to do this weather experiment, then give us a phone call and let us know, right? Because, we can make a deal, whatever, but it didn't. Which makes me believe that it's not a weather equipment. It's probably espionage. It's probably some sort of surveillance, some sort of underhanded, shady shit, right? And not what they say it is.
Yeah.
Right?
It's definitely not what they say it is.
So, and then you've got to kind of think, well, is it not what they say it is? Or is it not what the government say it is? And they're trying to lie to us because it's actually UFOs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the fact that they've not told us what the last 3 were, and the fact that they're actually still monitoring and they're probably still seeing stuff that they're not putting out there. I don't know. Considering they shot down 4 in the space of a weekend, how many more have they shot down since?
Exactly.
That they've just kept quiet.
In the small timeline as well, it is a bit. I mean, if it was 1 month apart, then fair enough. Then there's a possibility that it's just like spy equipment. But because there's 4 in 4 different areas of America.
Yeah, but I mean, that could account now. If you want to go down the espionage route, then you could account that if you let 4 balloons off at the same time, then based on weather patterns, they would potentially all arrive in different parts of America at the very similar times. Do you know what I mean? If they're tracking them coming in,
there's better devices to use.
It's the thing. It's the kind of idea that none of these devices, none of these objects were the same. Spotted. They weren't described the same. No. They were all described as 2 of them archetypal UFO shapes.
Yeah,
like your cigar shape or your kind of that type of craft. Potentially the first one was a weather balloon. Maybe that's kind of sparked somewhat off. I don't know. But again, with them being in the similar area, makes me think that they're rather all the one thing or all not the one thing. So if they say it's a weather balloon, it's probably not. Yeah. But if it is a weather balloon, all the rest are weather balloons as well. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know. I'm kind of on the line of they've just done it to have us look at that because it's such a big news. Or we're about to, solve the threat of all these UFOs that people have been complaining about. We'll do it for a couple of years, and then we'll turn around and say, we wiped them out. There's no more UFOs ever. You know what I mean? It's something for... It's something
we blew up a planet.
For the future.
We blew up a whole species. It was a mass genocide. Everyone's dead. But don't worry, we won't see anything in the sky anymore. We're the only ones left.
It's definitely going to be a plan for something in future where they're going to turn back and go, this is why this happened. Because we were up to this. We just couldn't tell you at that time.
Well, Steven Spielberg thinks that the US government are hiding information about UFOs.
Smart man.
I think Steven Spielberg's hiding UFO information about UFOs.
Yeah, I do.
To be honest. Yeah. And if you've ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind or listened to our episode on Project Sphero, Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is available to download anytime you want, you might find out that Steven Spielberg actually knows a bit more than what's going on with the US alien conspiracy than most.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like he might have had a bit of inside information on a few of his films, E.T. and stuff included. I mean, in the film Paul, they do make light of it and joke about it, saying, that Paul was, his, his advisor, and they'd ring him up, to give him pointers on how to make it more believable. And Stephen would be like, that sounds great.
Yeah.
But, in terms of Close Encounters, into what was it? The idea behind Close Encounters and the idea that, the film's based around these people who having visions about this UFO landing But when you get to the UFO landing itself, there's stuff going on there that is an actual conspiracy. There's that 12 people did an exchange, and we did an exchange with them. Yeah. And things are happening in that film that
are coming out in reports,
but they're not explained in the film. The film's not about that. The film's about these characters, these people crafting this mountain out of mashed potato and stuff, and kind of feeling like they're drawn to this, this place to witness something. And that's what the film kind of the story of these people. But when you get to the point when the UFO's there, things are happening. There's clues everywhere, even down to the shipping containers that have, and what company is it? The aeronautics company that were working with NASA and thingy at the time. I forgot the name of it, but it's like etched onto the side of the crates, stuff like that. I mean, it's just weird. A lot of information. Check the
funny
episode
you should
out.
actually say that, because there's a lot of talk at the minute about films that are actually, been out, and big blockbuster movies that have actually had bits of information in there for what was coming up. Okay. There's been quite a bit of chat about that at the moment, and about UFO abductions. I've been looking into something where it's turning out that if you've been abducted and you get abducted again, the chances are that you were abducted the second time by a government, not an actual alien race, which I've heard this kind of thing before, but I'm looking into someone at the minute about that kind of area, about there is a lot more of that than was first suspected.
Well, actually, did you know that Russia actually claims they shot down a UFO just last week?
Ah, right.
Yeah, they said. Okay. I mean, we had all these ones in Michigan and all the rest of it. Well, we didn't in America and Canada. But yeah, Russia is stating that they had one over there. So this was an incident. So this was an incident that happened the Sunday after.
Right.
Where is it? Commander General Glenn Van Heck said there was no sign of the object, there was no sign that the object posed any threat, but it was specifically over their airspace.
So we're shutting down anyway.
And they couldn't categorize it as a balloon. We're calling the object, we calling them objects for a reason. But we haven't ruled anything out, he added, and asked if they were aliens, and he said they might be. So
Well, you know what?
They might be, comrade.
Putin has something in his back pocket where if it's true what he's got, he could just blow the Western world apart.
Don't say stuff like that.
No, as in
scary shit.
The information on because he has said it, I believe, 3 times in the last before the war started. He did say about 3 times that if the West carry on the way they're going, I will turn round and tell people about the actual truth about what's been going on with alien races.
Well, another Russia bit, quickly. Following, this, they've had a lot of sightings. Yeah. Because they don't know if the drones from the Ukraine or anything like that, they've basically closed down airspace over St. Petersburg.
Oh, right.
So airspace is closed down. All flights into the city's main airport were suspended. Yeah.
Okay.
And the local media said that a UFO was spotted in the skies over the city.
I'd like to see if there's any footage of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, there is, actually, I think.
There is some footage.
I think there is.
Right.
I'll try and post that out somewhere. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of videos that get posted. Do you think, we're closer to getting some actual video content that might be a bit more legible, that we can kind of go definitively, whoa, that's a UFO, that is not CGI?
We can only hope, to be honest, but with since 1994, with the technology of filming stuff and that, it's so good on fakes that...
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
That's the real issue. It's the best way of solving it is the old saying of land on the White House lawn. and just pop your head out and go hello. You know,
blip blip blip. Yeah. We come in peace.
Yeah. But the way I see it is they don't want us to know they're there, even though they're being spotted.
It's not in our interest, is it? I feel like the governments would be kind of more inclined to keep that shit a secret.
Yeah.
But there you go. What do you guys think? I mean, have we missed anything out? Do you know a bit of information that we've missed?
Yeah.
Let us know. What do you think they are? Do you think they're alien extraterrestrials, or do you think it's some sort of espionage? I'm going to lean towards the espionage, but why couldn't it be aliens spying on us?
Yeah. Or it could be nothing.
Could be a mix of the two.
Yeah, it possibly could. It could be a mixture of 4 different things.
Or a school project and everyone. Or maybe like the monoliths.
Oh.
Somebody's just sending off mad balloons, and then somebody went, do you know what? He sent off a balloon. We're going to send off a balloon, and that's why they're all different, because it's just
off a balloon.
It's like the monoliths, people just doing random fucking art projects, trying to raise attention, get attention.
That is one thing.
One possibility.
It is
could
a possibility. Yeah.
Whatever it is, we'll be keeping an eye on it, and any developments we will let you know.
Yes.
Well, before we go into the news, we've got a sponsor of Audible, and it's a great way to start, listening to audiobooks and making the most of every moment. An Audible free trial is a great way for customers to try audiobooks and get a new title every month.
Oh, yeah.
Every month. Every month. With a trial, customers will receive one free audiobook of their choice to keep, even if they cancel, and Prime customers will receive 2 audiobooks in their trial. The ability to choose from the world's largest selection of audiobooks, including bestsellers, new releases, sci-fis, romances, mysteries and classics.
Massive.
And more.
Yeah.
After 30 days, you will receive 1 book each month for the low price of $7.99 a month. Renewals automatically. You can cancel easily anytime, which I recommend. You get your book, do one.
And it hasn't gone up in price. You know what I mean? It stayed the right price.
I don't know. This could be an old bit of text that I'm reading. I have knows. Well, you can download and listen to the world's best stories. Enjoy Audible audiobooks, original series, and more from on their free app. So it's a great way, like I say, to listen to your favourite genres from bestsellers and the latest releases. Yeah. There you go. There'll be a link in the description.
Massive amount there.
And it helps us out.
It does.
Keeps the show going. Go and do the free trial.
Yeah, you might as well.
If you do nothing else for me today, then just do that.
Yeah.
That little one thing.
Totally free.
Anyway, right. Well.
Unless you're a primary one.
Well, anyway, we've got some news.
We have.
I believe we do have some news to be getting on with. I actually thought of something that I was going to bring up, but I forgot what it was then.
All right. I'll be waiting to.
Well, I'll remember what it is during the news. It's the news! It is indeed, and we've searched the World Wide Web for the weirdest and bizarrest and controversialist news going on.
Indeed.
And I think we won't disappoint.
No.
I'll dive straight in with the first news story of the day. And this is in relation to a woman. You're not going to believe this, yeah.
Go on.
But she popped a John Wayne Bobbitt.
Oh, no.
She did indeed.
No.
And this is a woman who cut off her boyfriend's penis.
Oh, no.
After he threatened to leak a sex tape of her. So was she justified? Could you justify her?
No. That's like, you don't touch your man's manhood like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, this guy's in a bad way. I mean, anyone goes after, your little soldier, then.
Yeah, leave the little man alone, man.
A woman allegedly cut off her boyfriend's penis after he threatened to leak a sex tape after her because she refused to sleep with him. You fucking idiot. The 28-year-old man was rushed to hospital after the attack, which happened in Indonesia. He's now in intensive care. Police say that the alleged 28-year-old woman served basically his penis, severed his penis after coming onto her, and she wasn't in the mood. She was in the mood to fucking cut some meat, though.
Oh yeah, she did, yeah.
It's like, I am not in the mood. It's like, come on, baby. It's like, 1 minute. Let me just go and get
no means no
knife.
Yeah.
Yeah, boys, no means no.
Yeah.
Yeah. If she's not in the mood,
Yeah.
don't become a John Wayne. Don't become a Bobbitt.
No, you don't walk out.
There's a lot of weird shit. There's a lot of women attacking boyfriends.
Oh shit!
This is another story. I mean, there was no penises involved, but there was a squirrel.
A
A woman was arrested after training a squirrel to attack her boyfriend.
How the fuck? I think the CIA are going to come and collect her.
I think there's some scope there for, she should be using her powers for good.
Yeah.
I mean, what else has she trained squirrels to do?
Well, yeah. Look at,
Well, the Charlotte Police Department said there was a 45-year-old Janice Smith had reportedly trained many squirrels, not just one.
Oh, so it's a collector.
To harm her ex-lover by trapping him and training him. So she'd been catching squirrels and then training them. I don't know what she like how to pull a trigger. Yeah. Was it how to use a knife?
That must have took some time and effort.
Were they basically like climbing trees and setting up nooses that you would inadvertently walk into? I don't know.
Teaching them like ninjas. Ninja squirrels.
Ninja squirrels. Wow. I love it. These assaults left him with numerous severe wounds. He was actually attacked by these dozens of
pulling up his leg, going
the
down
rodents
again.
I believe to have assaulted the victim, age 51.
Well, yeah, he come along and bit me on the ear.
The unfortunate man said he was baffled as to why squirrels were attacking him. He was just like, do a smell? Is there something going on?
Hit and run. I hit him in the back, you hit me in the front.
Those squirrels were actually attacking him until he noticed his ex-girlfriend's was there.
With a whistle.
She was actually a former circus animal trainer.
Ah, that's where it comes from.
So, yeah.
Ah.
That's amazing.
She's using her powers.
She should be using her powers for good.
Yeah, but she went for nuts instead.
She was nuts.
Yeah, and so were the squirrels.
But squirrels always know where they bury your nuts.
Oh,
so,
yeah. They like a little nibble.
Have you got any other stories? Have you got any stories you'd like to talk about?
I have, actually. There's a new law that's just come in England, which probably not a lot of people know about in a minute. But marriage now is not 16, it's gone up to 18. And the reason why they're doing it is to try and stop brides going abroad, young brides.
Yeah, because, at the end of the day, I feel like it is a decent sort of ruling because, it gives kind of they are kids, yeah, right, at that age.
I don't think it's going to do much.
But I know, but at the end of the day, it needs to be kind of, they need to be mature enough to enter into that sort of contract.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, contractual law, you're not allowed to enter into any other contract until you're 18, as far as I know, other than marriage. And that's just, now they're stopping that. I feel like
just in England, Scotland and Wales.
Yeah, it doesn't apply everywhere, but I feel like it is a good move in the sense that, it does stop a lot of the trafficking side of, like, arranging marriages to young girls who might not really have a say in it.
Yeah, but I don't think it goes far enough on that.
True that. There was a report about grooming gangs all over the UK. I know there was ones in Bolton and Bury in the northwest.
Yeah, and
it goes way further than that. It is quite a sensitive subject. I don't really want to go into it too much, but
So that's a new law that's just been brought in. So hopefully it'll help.
See what happens there. Well, going back to penises.
Okay.
This is a story that
it's a croc now that eats someone.
It could be good news for the ladies.
Oh right, okay.
Or the gentlemen, depending on what your vice is. Yeah. I don't know. Right, whatever if you like a big,
wherever you like to plug it in.
If you like a big penis, this story's for you.
Yeah.
Well, studies of men's form around the world show that the length of the penis has grown over 24% in the last 30 years.
Well, in it the width that the ladies like?
Well, the width, the girth, the overall sheen.
Yeah. Well, some lucky ladies.
It sounds like it'd be good news, right?
Yeah.
24% bigger.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, most shops you'll get 24% less nowadays.
Yeah.
So, getting 24% more, that's pretty much.
But is it because of these wanking little machines that stretch?
I was telling somebody about
about
fleshlights the other day. Like they didn't have a clue what they were, and I was just like, so a fleshlight is, you get the girls have vibrators. This is like, the equivalent. I've never used one.
No.
Can't say. No. I'll be interested.
Palm and the 5 fingers are happy there.
Yeah, well, a Cell 5 is one of those. But yeah, 25% bigger. Yeah, right. Getting back onto the story. Apparently, though, it does. Fertility doctors are a bit concerned because.
Okay.
I mean, is it because they've got further to travel? I don't know. I mean, like, what?
Well, yeah.
I don't think penis size. I don't think penis size has anything to do with, like, fertility.
No, I
really?
don't think there's anything been suggested on that length, as far as I'm aware.
Well, there's a doctor here called Eisenberg, who says, although it might not directly affect fertility, any change in the reproductive system is fundamentally can change the human experience. So, something that we could pay attention to and try and understand.
Well, yeah, true. I mean, we know quite a lot about the stars, but not quite a lot about our genitals.
All I know is I remember the story of that porn star who, he had such a big member he'd faint when he got an erection because of the blood flow. All the blood would rush to his head, rush to the wrong head.
Is it King Ding-a-ling?
King Ding, I don't know.
Yeah, there's a guy in the 70s.
Is that what he was
King
called?
Ding-a-ling.
That is a great
porn. I'll tell you, he had a massive cock.
Right,
but it ended up being found out that it was actually rubber that was attached to it. Yeah, but he was famous for without the 70s in America.
Yeah, the prosthetics have come a long way in the last 30,
that's
40
true,
years,
that's
haven't they?
true.
50 years.
Yeah.
Well, have you got any other news you'd like to talk about?
I have. In Japan, they've just found a mysterious.
I thought you was going to say in Japan they found out cocks are getting 25% smaller.
Oh, no.
Go on, carry on.
Well, there's university students who have designed something that helps long-distance lovers.
You're joking, man.
No.
This is like a haptic suit or some sort of like, We're carrying on. What is it with the penis stories today?
Well, I suppose you could put your penis on it.
Come on, explain to this, because I mean, the way I see it is it's something like something with sensors that you like a glove for your love glove, a love glove.
Oh no, but I bet someone's out there trying to make one of them. No,
patent pending.
Probably, yeah. No, a kissing machine.
I've seen these.
Yeah,
I've seen these. I mean, I've seen the kissing machines for long distance relationships before. Yeah. And it's a similar thing where you stick your tongue in the machine.
Yeah, and they
feel it sort of triggers sensors that also triggers their sensors remotely.
Yeah, that's it.
So not for
now
me.
It's on the market.
Not for me, thanks.
No, I don't think that'll work, to be honest.
I mean, got to imagine like you're in a long distance relationship and that comes in the post. Yeah. And it's basically from your lover, and she's suggesting that you kind of like, give this box a snog.
Yeah, nah. Yeah, but would you try it if anyone said?
No, I don't think I would, to be honest.
I don't think I would either. I think I'd feel it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
I will be honest, I would try it with knob. I will be honest.
You have to lower the tone every time. Well, I mean, what would you guys do, listeners at home? I mean, do you own a kissing machine?
Do you want one?
Are you a fleshlight enthusiast?
Oh, yeah.
Have you got a box of treats under the bed that,
I
don't know. Anyway, I've got a story here about a man who's just been prosecuted.
Okay.
For who broke into a UK industrial park and stole over 200,000 Cadbury's cream eggs.
Oh, nice.
Now I told you last time. I'm still haunted by it. My creamless egg.
Did you contact him?
I didn't.
Well, you can't.
I didn't. I couldn't be bothered. I had stuff going on.
You wanted to eat
I
that
ate the egg.
chocolate.
Well, actually, there was a story about a love heart shaped crisp in the Walkers. They had a competition, Walkers crisp or Lay's.
Yeah.
For other people internationally, Lay's crisps.
Oh, right.
Over in the UK, we call them Walker's crisps. Yeah,
that's right.
And they were running a competition where, if you found a love heart shaped crisp, you could win like £10,000, £100,000, right?
All right.
A woman ate it, but then started trying to appeal to Walker's to say, oh, well, I took a photo of it, but I ate it. And they went, well, we're not going to pay you the money. Yeah.
So, because you got to have
it's one of those things.
Hands.
Well,
yeah,
anyway.
but what if it breaks? That's another thing. Then you.
Oh, I could just trim a crisp to look like a love heart.
You know what? When
is
you
there a
started
microchip in it?
Exactly what I was thinking.
How do they know this is the crisp? I don't know.
Give it a little munch on.
I mean, if anyone from Cadbury's is listening, and you can want to replace my Cadbury's cream egg because I got a hollow one,
and I do love Cadbury's cream egg.
Then all day I'll do like the white chocolate Cadbury's cream eggs now they've brought out, which are very nice. But this guy obviously liked Cadbury's cream eggs too because he stole 200,000 of them.
Greedy bastard.
But he got caught and pleaded guilty for theft and criminal damage.
Well,
it wasn't just Cadbury's cream eggs though. There was a variety of Cadbury's treats.
Ah, right. Well, it's coming up to Easter soon.
Probably Freddos and maybe some other Easter eggs as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
it's coming up to Easter. It's the first. It is actually officially spring now, so winter's gone.
It's spring.
We're done with winter now.
Doesn't fucking feel like it.
It's a bit chilly, but I mean, it's nice to brighten up a bit and get a lighter
it's snowing
earlier.
Next week.
Well, you do sometimes get snow in March.
Yeah, I know, and then April you get all the showers and a bit in between.
Come on, give us some news.
Right, and another weird thing has turned up in Japan. A big boulder, a massive boulder has turned up on the beach.
Now, you told me about this. You said it was a big metal sphere. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, my first question was, what was inside it?
Hollow.
It was totally hollow.
Totally
right,
hollow.
So someone's just been fly tipping them, basically, haven't they? They've just thrown a big buoy in the ocean and it's washed up in Japan. And they've gone, what is it? It's like, I was hoping that when you said they cut it open, there was a little steering wheel inside.
No, they haven't cut it open.
How did they know it's hollow?
It was a mine. They x-rayed it.
Right, so there's literally nothing inside
There's
it.
literally nothing inside it.
Materials,
but
what's it made of? What is it made of?
Metal.
Any sort of metal that we know about? Is it an aluminium or steel or what?
The analysts haven't come back with anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I think this is, again, like I say, it's rather something that's fell off a boat, some fly tipper.
What would you have on a boat that's a big metal ball?
I don't know.
That's hollow.
Who knows what people do with their spare time?
Well, they did think that they ended up having the bomb squad having a look at it first.
Because I would have thought it might have been a mine or a buoy or something.
Yeah, because it's like it looks like a mine, but without the.
Don't mines usually have those sort of like spike sea mines?
Yeah, apart from that, it was like it was a big ball, but no one can work out where it's actually come from and what the fuck's it doing.
They got big balls over in Japan.
Right. They have.
So, I mean, what do you think it is? Just got no idea.
No.
All right, fair enough.
But then, how'd you get a big ball off? Let's say if it was at the bottom of the ocean,
right? Okay. Because it's hollow. So it depends because if
still
it's
fucking heavier than water.
Yeah, I know, but so's a boat, right? But a boat is buoyant, right? And it floats on the water because it's got trapped air and it's able to be buoyant on the ocean.
No, this has a hole in it.
It's got a hole in it.
It has a hole in the side of it.
Well, maybe it just happened to be bobbing along and didn't fully
bobbing along? How the fuck's it gonna bobbing along?
Bobbing
big
along
metal
on the bottom of the beautiful briny sea. It was bobbing along, bro. It bobbed along, right? It only got a bit of water in it.
Nah, it was a volcano.
It wasn't enough to suck it under.
It was under a volcano, wasn't it? And it got blew through out of
the parameters of this story are getting wild now, bro. Talking about a wild, go on. I've got a wild story here, yeah. This is about a boat.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm on a boat. I'm on a boat. Well, this guy was on a boat.
Yeah.
But he ended up getting lost at sea.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And he only survived. This is a man called Elvis.
Elvis? Not second name Presley, is he?
He was discovered.
In a McDonald's.
Basically, he survived almost a month
Yeah.
at sea, and the only thing he had to survive on was Heinz ketchup packets.
Fucking hell, he must have been desperate there.
Well, Heinz,
Yeah.
to celebrate the fact that the man's still alive and kicking, surviving only on ketchup, are giving him a new boat.
Oh, man, but we were talking about this. Fuck, and is he getting a little boat or is he getting a yacht?
I would hope he just gets like a proper big yacht or something really kind of extravagant. Heinz can afford it.
Yeah, they've got to give him
especially
something
at the moment
with
the prices they're putting the beans up to.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Living standards, man. In
there was actually supermarkets who turned around and said they won't stock Heinz anymore because
they put the price up.
They put the prices up too much across brands and stuff. But I mean, obviously, they're trying to get a bit of good PR now by buying Elvis a new boat.
Well, they need to at the cost that they're bloody charging at the minute.
Yeah, well, the US ketchup manufacturer are making arrangements to provide a new boat to the man who ate the company's signature condiment and survived being lost at sea for nearly a month. The Heinz Food Company, based in Pittsburgh, have made contact with the survivor about buying him a new sailing vessel. So, I don't know. It sounds like they're going to actually give him a proper decent...
because he did it. He
ship.
Did. Yeah, and he'd done two good things there. He saved his life with the actual product.
That's marketing gold, that.
Yeah.
It's like, what? He survived on sauce? Our sauce?
Now, would you have thought that they wouldn't have turned around and given him
They would have
anything?
expected that it killed him. And they're probably really surprised that it didn't. Do you know what I mean?
And you know what? I reckon their test marketing go like you know, you could live on a month with this.
You could live for a month on tomato sauce. Honestly, ketchup.
Yeah.
It's all good. Do it. They'll be. Do you know what? Right, you're gonna
ketchup are going to rule the world.
This is going to be a new TikTok challenge now. In fact, you heard it here first, right? TikTok YouTubers, whoever you content creators, right? New challenge. I'm going to set you, right? Ooh. You got to live 30 days on tomato sauce.
Oh, yeah, but that's...
Mr. Beast, I want to see this. So you do it on your video.
That's
sit in a room.
No water.
With no water. You just got to eat tomato sauce for 30 days. Nothing else,
Nah.
No, they won't do it. They'll pussy out. They'll pussy out after day one, honestly.
Yeah,
Prove me wrong.
I'll give him till the pub's open.
Prove me wrong. Yeah. Right, I want to see this video. Send me links. Yeah. Any news you want to see? Any news? We're making news now. We're making news.
We are. We're news. We're spreading the news.
Come on.
Like a
hashtag Heinz. Right. Come on.
I have got no more news.
You've got no more news?
No.
Well, I found this story. I mean, do you know extinct animals?
Yeah, I know quite a few of them actually.
Yeah.
One's called Henry.
This Steve, Alan,
Jeffrey,
Pete the Puffin.
Yeah, George the Turtle.
That he got eaten. Well, this is about a giant fly, right?
Yeah.
A giant fly that was found in Arkansas.
All right.
Right, in a Walmart or outside a Walmart, and it turned out to be a super rare Jurassic era insect.
Still alive.
Well, it might have been.
Still alive, like Nessie.
Well, this is the thing, though, because the story kind of alludes that he killed it, or basically it was dead when he said he saw it on a wall, right, as he was entering a Walmart, right? And
17th century wall or
rather
something.
than, try and catch it alive, it kind of jumps to the point where he's mounting it on a board, right? Yeah, so I don't know how he got it. He killed it.
Killed the last.
Yeah. This is a super rare Jurassic era insect.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was dead when he found it, God knows, right? But he mounted it anyway, and he didn't have a fucking clue what it was. He was actually an insect. He was basically he was a professor or a lecturer.
Yeah.
At the University of the Penn State University.
Yeah.
So obviously pretty kind of good at his job, I assume.
A bit high up there.
He put it away. He forgot all about it, and it was basically during a TikTok. Oh no, sorry, not TikTok. A Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Where he kind of remembered he was doing something about evolution and the species, how they can kind of like change and evolve, suiting their environments and stuff.
Yeah.
And he remembered this specimen, and someone was able to help identify it. And it's turned out that it's like I say, super rare Jurassic era insect. What it's doing around, and if there is one, there's got to be more.
And not only that, like, how can it still be having... It goes against everything they will be talking about then, because if this species has gone through Jurassic era and all the way to now, then there's something within its own genetics that states that it could live in these different environments.
Well, the problem, it's not a problem, but like there's certain species that we know about today that will are the pinnacle of their evolution. Yeah. And they don't need to evolve anymore because they're perfect. They're the perfect predator, the perfect fucking like
they're designed to stay the way they are.
Yeah. And they can survive anything as is. So, I mean,
or the boring and just do the same thing over and over again.
Why would you need to evolve any further when you just
because they're boring.
There is that.
They can't be asked to get off their ass.
I'm sick of being so perfect.
Yeah. I'm just like, I just eat shit and, breed, that's it. That's all I do all day.
That's true. That is true. Let's see what else we got story-wise. I found this story which was really weird. It's quite disturbing.
Okay.
This is about a guy in Peru, who he's been walking around with his partner for the last 30 years.
Right.
His partner just happens to be a mummy.
What? You mean his mummy?
No, not his mummy, like an ancient mummy.
Oh, right, like a dead mummy.
Yeah, and basically he said his dad brought it home, and since then he's always carried it around. He carries it around everywhere he goes. He's recently been sacked from his job because he was carrying it around in his food delivery bag. Yeah. So the police in Peru have actually seized the mummified human remains, who's believed to have been between 600 and 800 years old.
Okay, now.
Yeah, and
he's got a type, hasn't he?
Yeah, so the mummy was found nested inside in an insulated bag, which we used to deliver food. He used to be a delivery food driver, but has been recently let go. He says that he's carried around the mummy. He calls it Junetta, and he's had it for 30 years.
Oh my days. What the fuck?
It's his lady love.
It's freaky love.
But yeah, he was he's just hanging out. He's got photos on his social of him chilling with his girlfriend, his mummy Junetta.
You joking?
No, the mummified remains are thought to be prehistoric relic, and an adult male individual, presumably from eastern area of Perno, a region of the Peruvian Andes.
Okay.
So, which is about 800 miles away. So from where they are. Well, it's the age of the actual mummy, which is quite interesting, like 600 to 800 years old. But the specimen is a mystery, really. But it stated that the mummy is a man who is at least 45 years old, and should be referred to as June rather than Junetta.
Could it be religious purposes then, for like carrying your forefather around, or you had
I've no idea, to be honest.
It could be that thing.
I feel like the father's just acquired it. Maybe he was doing a job and came about it and thought, you know what, this is interesting. And might it is interesting, isn't it? I mean, what would you do if you found a mummy? Yeah, would you bring it home?
No.
With the aim of contacting the authorities. Maybe you couldn't contact the authorities. Maybe you tried and they went, we don't want it.
Yeah, you ain't got a phone, mate. What are you on about?
Yeah, it's fucking hell. Yeah, exactly. Maybe you didn't have a phone in the middle of Peru.
Yeah,
but yeah, who knows?
It is a bit weird, but we'll have to see if any more info comes out on it, because it'd be interesting to find out what happened to him if he let go, or like charges get thrown on him. And what happened to the mummy as well? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because like I say, I mean, was there any religious significance or anything like that? Could be.
Here's a story about the moon, right? Oh. And I've actually been saying about this for a while, because time is relative to Earth.
Yeah.
And we only base our 24-hour clock on the fact that it takes that long to go round.
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that there'd be different time on Mars, different time on the moon, based on local time, I mean, we have time differences just on one continent to the next, right? So obviously there's got to be a time difference on places like the moon.
Yeah.
Right? So Cape Canaveral are basically, and the rest of Europe are basically launching lunar missions that, obviously
try and work the timelines out.
Well, they're trying to call for a standardized lunar time, a moon time zone.
Yeah, they've tried to do it for a long time.
So this week, the agency said that the space organizations around the world are considering how best to keep time on the moon. The idea came up during a meeting in the Netherlands last year, which participants agreed that agreeing that it's an urgent thing needs to be established.
Yeah.
I've said this a couple of times on the show, haven't I?
You have.
So
I think it's time to, because we are journeying out more, so we need to sort something out in our solar system alone anyway.
All right, fair enough. What was it? There was actually a UFO crash in a primary school on World Book Day.
Oh, right.
I don't know if it was obviously planted there, but basically hundreds of pupils from Galston Primary School were shocked to see an extraterrestrial crash site on their playground on World Book Day. On March the 2nd, police attended the scene. And at the academy, following reports that a UFO had landed close to the school entrance. Teachers, public, and parents were all abuzz over the discovery. There is photos, and it basically looks like a weather balloon.
You're joking?
No, it's a big silver tinfoil thing, and it's like literally police were called.
Fucking hell.
Genuine thing. All the kids were happy about it. They all just got selfies next to this crash site. So do you think this could be again like something like China? Or,
Possible.
One of these weather balloons,
Most
so-called
countries
weather
are on
balloons.
alert now on like shooting these balloons down.
This is the funny thing, though. It's because how you handle it, isn't it? It's like, the Americans
Everyone's
shoot it down.
different,
We all take selfies next to it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like crash lands in a schoolyard. It's like, hey, we got a UFO.
Yeah, to be honest, if you watch certain programs,
It's funny,
you're only watching it to see the accident.
When I saw that story, I was like, was it for World Book Day? Do you know, like, was it
I was
set up for
thinking,
the kids? But no.
Little alien
actually, a
comes
little
out
legit encounter.
That's interesting.
I've got one more story. I think this is pretty funny. Russia
Yeah,
are actually they're not.
Especially Putin. He's.
Oh, actually, no. I've got two more stories.
Oh.
I do apologise.
Special there.
No, basically, Russia are giving Jean-Claude Van. It's Jean-Claude Van Damme, isn't it?
No, Steven Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah.
What were they giving him?
They were giving him a reward, were they?
Yeah, they were giving a humanitarian award.
Well, they had named a sniper rifle after him.
I've actually lost the story, so I do apologise. Oh, wait, here we go.
Oh, we got it.
So Vladimir Putin signs a decree honouring US actor and Russian citizen Steven Seagal.
Well, some people
Said he's awesome. I mean, Steven Seagal was in a lot of trouble, wasn't he? He's been an outlaw. He's been a lawmaker.
Yeah.
He's been a kung fu action hero.
Yeah.
And now he's a diplomatic.
Been a liar as well, supposedly. There's
Well, I mean, I wouldn't trust him. I mean, to be
fella.
honest, it's like we excommunicated a load of oligarchs.
Yeah.
But Steven Seagal's been a regular visitor to Russia and become a citizen of the country in 2016. He wrote and received a Russian passport from Vladimir Putin personally, and he's also worked as a Russian for the foreign ministry, special representatives to the United States and Japan.
What the fuck?
It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, it's like that one when who else was it when you think, I'm going to go out and cause and like try and get peace, and they went out to Korea. Who was it? Like an actor or someone?
I think it was the basketball player.
Oh, that was it, wasn't it? It was fucking.
I can't remember his name.
You know who I mean?
Yeah, I do, but I can't.
He always has really
different haircuts.
Yeah.
He loves
Dennis Rodman.
That's a
him.
fella. Yeah.
Well, last story before we leave it for tonight. This comes from Vice News. So it's got to be true.
Oh.
No, I believe Vice. Vice are really good. Well, Canada were leading the way in the cannabis legalization and kind of chillaxing on it.
Yeah.
But this is maybe a step too far. since 2 drug companies can legally start selling cocaine, heroin, and MDMA.
What, to civilians?
Well, I don't know. So, a Canadian weed company and psychedelics company have received a government license to make and distribute drugs under a certain circumstances.
Right. So,
what? So
right.
it's Friday night. You've run out of pills. You've run out of MDMA.
You ring these lads.
You've got no sniff left, and then you basically go, right. Is these drastic enough circumstances that we can get the government in on this? Yeah. And then you ring up the guy, and he goes, right, okay, it's Mr. Wolf time. Like, gives you all the fucking important deets. Is that what they're saying? I don't understand what certain circumstances means.
It's either got to be for medical purposes.
When is there ever a medical situation where they go, this guy needs more MDMA?
But then again...
Go get this guy a line, stat. It just never happens.
All drugs in Portugal are legal.
It's not a case of that they're legal. It's a case of that they're moderated and they're able to...
Yeah, exactly.
It's not even a case that they're moderated. It's like they give you basically the support you need, so fresh needles. They give you kind of like tester kits, so you can see if your MDMA is pure or it's been cut with anything.
Which is a good idea on a
because you can't. At the end of the day,
basis.
You can't stop people from taking these things, recreational drugs. But
Me too, it's
you can try
life.
and make it safer. And I think that's the main concern. I feel like if you're creating a safe
a safer
compound that is regulated,
not cut up and put different
then that
things
is again
in
a step in the right direction. You're never going to stop people taking them, but what you can do is you can kind of control where they're getting it from. So it means less deaths, it means less hospitalizations, less drug dealers, less money that's being funded into terrorisms and mafias and all the rest of it. So doing it this way, I can understand. I feel like 2 out of the 3 items they've listed, the heroin, I've not got a clue why that would be something that you'd want to put on your shelves.
Kind of got
as a distributor. Do you know what I mean? As somebody with a company, but why would you want to make heroin and distribute it?
I've got a counter argument to it. Right.
Well, look at cider, right? Cider, apple cider in this country, in the UK, there's people out there who are solidly addicted to apple cider, right? Yeah, that sounds really nice and very nice on a summer's day and all the rest of it. But some of these ciders are so strong, that drugs counsellors and alcoholics counsellors would say that the results and the effects of drinking cider, strong white lightning cider or whatever, is worse than heroin, right? There was a documentary made about it, and Strongbow, or one of White Lightning, or one of these brands, they went, I think it was a kind of like Heineken or what that company made this cider, and after seeing it, they went, whoa, and they pulled it from the shelves, because the effects on the lower income people who were using the product was worse than heroin. Right? So by pulling it, you're opening up another fucking company.
Someone else is just going to walk in.
Totally. But at the end of the day, by trying to cut the distribution, then you can cut the addicts because they've got nowhere to get it from, so they have to quit.
Now this is kind of...
So, but by going, oh, well, I know that you can get it from your dealer, we don't really want you to, so we've made a safer version, but you can get it from us. It just doesn't solve the problem, because that person means now it's readily available, and they don't need to kind of...
It's kind of proven...
steal for it. They can go basically get it on prescription.
It's kind of proven with the government having control of drugs and giving them to society anyway, because easily look at the CIA of... We worked out if they were bringing...
Well, they were responsible for a lot of LSD and stuff like that, weren't they?
And the thing is, they brought it in. They've got their big money from the dealers or the gangs and that, but they haven't got the control of what the gangs do with it. There should have been another department to actually control that.
Filter the money back to them.
No, well, the money is bound to go back to them anyway. But
well, is it though?
It would have been cheaper, and it would have been much safer, and more people would have enjoyed it more.
It's blown on fucking stupid shit, watches and fur coats, right?
Yeah.
And then they get arrested for bringing it on top, and then it gets seized by the government. That's
Yeah,
how
it
they
helps the
get
prison
it.
service, doesn't
That's
it?
how they get it.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I mean?
they could have, if they could have done what they were talking about now, that they could have actually made it safer back then, but they chose not to.
Well, yeah, because obviously it's like, you know,
they didn't have the
I think
support
no,
on
it's
it.
not about the support. I think it was very kind of unknown and nobody really knew. It was a very small percentage of people who'd ever taken a recreational drug.
Well,
so
yeah,
it was
and
all
they didn't
Zammo.
care.
It was all Zammo. Just say no and fucking don't take drugs. This is your brain on drugs.
Yeah. And
This
it flows
is your
money
brain.
around.
This is your brain on drugs.
Flows all the money around as well.
So, you know, but I feel like now we're at a stage in you know, that sort of culture that
Worse and worse drugs are
more
coming
often than not, most people have at least smoked a joint.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that sort of like stigma of kind of like it can ruin your life. Most people, might agree on some level, but a lot of people
Abusing
would say
it could.
Abusing it would,
Yeah.
definitely. But,
Give
you
you
know,
psychosis and stuff.
going to a party or a gig or
Yeah.
something and having a toke on a spliff's not gonna, you know, ruin everything and send you to the gutter, is it?
That might, no, like if you watch like that Channel 4 documentary with Michael Snow and
Jon Snow.
Jon Snow, yeah, and he took a little bit
smoked some
when
weed,
he's like, he was like,
yeah, but no, but
fucked.
but they gave him like one of those big baggy bong
Strong,
things,
yeah.
right? And that was like the equivalent of giving a non-drinker a bottle of vodka,
and downing it in one.
Yeah, exactly. It's like the guy's tolerance he was proper stoned, but it was like they gave the guy was like, I'm gonna get Jon Snow absolutely off his tits.
Yeah, I'm gonna prove you wrong.
I'm gonna make Jon Snow pop a whitey on national television.
Yeah. He was bound to anyway. You know what I mean? In this case, if that's a setup, you know what I mean?
Well, that's it. If he even inhaled like, he did, didn't he? What's it? Not like Elon Musk.
No, he didn't inhale.
Right. So one last NASA news story before we shoot. NASA DART experiment or probe that it's sending up to kind of deflect out of meteorites and stuff in space. It has basically took out 1,000 tons of rock from its target.
Nice.
So it basically hit. This was 10 hours ago. So it was a test hit on an asteroid to see what happened. There's actually video footage there if you want to watch it. I'll post it on Twitter.
Yeah, it'd be a good video to watch.
The DART project's quite cool, but I think what they're doing is if some guy just sat in an office playing asteroids and he's like that, boom, boom, boom.
With 3D.
It's like they don't really need to take any asteroids out, but they keep going.
It's like the moon.
We're going to test it today, and it's like, I can't wait because it just means I can shoot a real asteroid in space.
Yeah,
I'd love that job.
You know what? They might do a championships. Like if you do the best score, you get to actually do the proper.
You get to press the button.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah,
we'd love to press the button if you would allow us. Let us come and press the button.
Not the big red one though.
I don't press that button. I won't press the DART button.
Yeah.
And get a bullseye.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's the end of the show. We'll be back next week.
We will.
So, we've got loads of stuff to talk about here.
We have.
Still.
If
you would like to join Patreon, you can help us out by subscribing over on Patreon at 3 different levels. You've got Agent, Special Agent, and Beyond Top Secret, which allows you all the privy of extra special content.
Oh, you like the special.
We've got merch over on the website, which is neverastraightanswer.co.uk, where you can buy a T-shirt, a mug, fanny pack, coaster, umbrella, I don't know, Porsche, Never the Straight Answer yacht.
Yeah, a building if you want. Yeah,
you can buy the building.
The palace.
You can buy the palace, which is 290,000.
Per square inch.
No, that's just how much it is. If you want to buy us the palace, that's how much it is. Put it on our Patreon or just send it to PayPal. Through the website.
We appreciate it.
If you go over to the website, there's plenty of downloadable content for your amusement.
Shitloads, man.
Over 200 and some episodes.
Yes.
I'd say
280 around.
I'd say there's about 280 individual downloadable episodes on there,
and they're all
as well as
good.
videos and blogs and other entertaining items.
Oh, interesting.
For your consideration. And we'll be back next week for another exciting topic.
Yes.
I don't know what creeps into that little voice then, but God willing, unless some
we've had plans and then it's like, oh damn,
best laid plans.
Yes,
mice and men.
But we get here as often as we can.
Well, if you've got any questions, queries, or suggestions, you can send us a comment.
Yeah.
Or you can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com.
That's right.
And we'll be back next week. I've been Gaz.
I've been Taylor.
We've been the Never a Straight Answer podcast. Peace.
Oh,
that was basic.
Was me.
Peace.
Oh.